I'm Becca Brandt, and today we're making Snickerdoodles. This is my favorite recipe because they're extra tasty inside with an extra crunch on the outside. The ingredients for this dish are almond flour, brown sugar, white sugar, butter, shortening, salt, baking soda, eggs, vanilla extract, cinnamon, and then more sugar for the toppings. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees and I've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper, or you can use the spray on or grease a baking sheet. Anything is fine with me. When making fluffy, chewy cookies, you gotta start with adding your butter and your shortenings first. So that's 1/2 cup of butter and 1/4 cup of just regular vegetable shortening. The fat is the most essential ingredient to making something a cookie instead of a cake. By using room temperature butter, it creates some air within the dough that's going to give your cookies an extra lightness. To the butter and the vegetable shortening, I'm adding 1/2 cup of white sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Let's mix it up. So turn it on and let it roll. That just takes 20 seconds with a hand mixer. But you got your own hand, and that can mix too. You need 2 eggs. There's 1, and there's 2. And if you put them in a bowl, it's easier to dig out the shells. I looked out this time. I don't see any shells. And now add that to your creamed sugar. And then we add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, or a little more as the case may be. And now blend that together. And push down the sides if it sticks to the sides of your bowl. You want it all incorporated together. Now to the wet, we're gonna add the dry. This is 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. In it goes. 3/4 a teaspoon of salt. So there's a half, and there's a quarter. I'm gonna eyeball it. That's 3/4. And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. That gives it that beautiful flavor we all know of Snickerdoodles. I've been using almond flour for years for lots of cookie recipes. The deal is, I had to blanch these almonds and grind them myself. I found out about nuts.com, who sponsored this video, and I was so happy to know that they're gonna do all that work for me. You're gonna need 3 cups of almond flour. That would have taken me about a half an hour to an hour to make if I had to blanch those almonds and dry them out and then blend them in a blender to get them to this fine, beautiful consistency. Almond flour is great. It's a super replacement for regular flour. It's gluten-free. It has any calcium than any nut. It's high in potassium, it's high in protein, and it's high in fiber. It's so great to put into cookies because it's so healthy, and it adds an extra flavor that makes everything extra delicious when you cook with it. It is so much better than just wheat flour. Now we're going to mix that up. Done. That took about 60 seconds, and it made this beautiful, lovely dough. And then push down the sides and incorporate it all. I want you to notice something. If it seems a little too wet for you, you can always add more. I did not pack this tight in my measuring cup, so therefore it needs a little more. And I found that out just by looking at it. So blend it some more. There we go. That's perfect. See, when I press it, it kind of sticks into a plane. It doesn't get too soft. That's about right. Now to make the toppings. Here's 1/4 cup of white sugar, and to that I'm adding 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. But this is my favorite part. We're gonna do a little experimentation with these cookies today. Here's another 1/4 cup of brown sugar and another 1/4 cup of sugar in the raw, and to that I'm adding a teaspoon of cinnamon. I've got a curiosity factor going on today. I wanna see what these cookies look like and taste like with these 3 different types of sugar toppings. Cinnamon is the constant, and the sugars are what's gonna make it taste different and look different. Inquiring minds just wanna know. Here's my brown sugar and cinnamon mixed up. Oh, and some for the mousy that comes to visit. And here's my sugar in the raw. Snickerdoodles are such an old-fashioned cookie. So you're gonna need about 1½ tablespoons of the dough, and you're gonna roll it into a little ball, and then plunk it in your sugar and roll it again. If you've got kids in the household and they haven't been participating until this point, well, tell them this is the best point for them to participate. This is so much fun. I'm very much interested in a lot of sugar on that cookie, so I'm adding more. And onto our baking sheet. Next up, ball, topping, roll around. And that land of fun. I think rolling around in sugar would be a very fun thing to do. Done. It's important to make them uniform because that way they're going to cook at the same rate. Ball, white sugar, spread it around, coat them up. Done. Nuts.com is giving 4 free products for every order over $24. Use a coupon code in the link below to get that special offer. And if you don't feel like making a treat, besides the flour and all the nuts they have all kinds of pre-made treats and candies. You might know a little Christmas mouse that wants to try some in their stocking this year. This recipe makes 2 dozen Snickerdoodles. Move around because they all need their personal space. And we're going to put that in the oven. In they go. I like to check it at 11 just to make sure I don't burn the house down. All right, into the road. And this one's going to get all 3 on it just because we kind of ran out of his allotment. Bing. Join your friends. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's check. Oh, wow. Those look good. A little too soft. They need to be in for 13 minutes in my oven. Back in they go. 13 is a charm. Those are done. So you need to let them cool, so I put it on the counter. And this is my trick for a fast cool. Is with parchment paper, you can just slide it off onto your cold counter. So this is the difference in those looks. The raw sugar looks like this. This is the brown sugar, and this is the white sugar. I don't know, I think the brown sugar and the raw sugar look best. Comment and let me know, what do you think? Now, is that the most incredible thing in the whole wide world? Let's try them. So click the link below to get your nuts.com almond flour. This is the raw sugar one. It's great. Here comes brown sugar. Wow. It's not as crispy with the sugar, but it's incredible. And here's the white sugar one. They're all so closely the same. Whatever you got in your kitchen, here's what I go for. Subscribe to my channel. Let's keep making great things in the kitchen, like almond flour snickerdoodles with a big glass of milk.